Hey, my name is Scotty, and in this tutorial, we're going to focus on sketching portraits of people wearing hats, both baseball caps and brimmed hats, because I've got a great technique to be able to sketch both of those in a simple way. So we're going to start with Bud here, the first reference, and going to build down the shapes from the top down. To give us a bit of a guide to start, let's put 2 dots here. So go 1 and 2. And see that angle? We've got a nice angle there. Make it a bit more. So that's the angle of the hat. And I can see that about halfway between the dots, that distance is about how high the hat is there. So I put another dot up there. That might make it a bit easier. And then let's connect those 2 dots with a curve, or just a subtle curve, like that, around to that dot there. Now we'll complete the shape. So we've got that first shape. Now the second shape is that the whole face going around there. So we'll start off with the forehead there, and we'll leave a little gap. I'm not going to draw the brim of the hat. We just draw coming down from the top of the head, following that shape of the hat. We can continue the forehead down like that. And it's just a bit above that dot there, and that's where the eyebrow starts. Now to continue down here, we don't have much of a guide, so I get the width of the head there, then I rotate that point down to about where I think the chin is, and it should be about the same distance approximately, and have that angle that we have on the reference there to that dot. And now we can just follow the contour down, the outline of the shape. So we go in a little bit for the eye here, and then comes out like that. And then where the chin is, you can see there's a bump there, so it comes out the chin like that. And then we can continue the neck down. There's a bit there, and then a bit there. And then on the other side, we can also come around this way for the hat. I might bring that point there just around a bit more like that, and then come down. It's just adjusting some of the shapes, and then the neck like this. So then we have that face shape. We can continue down for that V there, where its chest is, and the next thing is the clothing. So coming out just below the ear, down this for this shape here, and then on the other side, collar comes out like that, and very good. And then the shoulder there. So the shoulder just comes about level with the chin there. So we've got the main shapes other than the cap. With this brim of a baseball cap, the most important thing is to get these 3 lines parallel. Often people change the angle and it makes the perspective look off. So it's really easy. We just get that point about there, and we're angling it just slightly up. It's quite a short line. Let's draw a line like that. And then over down here we've got another line, but make sure these 2 lines are approximately parallel. And then just a bit lower than this line, on above the eyebrow, is another line. And they're all nearly the same length. So now it's much easier to draw that curve at the front, which most people have problems with. And so let's draw that line up, and it comes out, and then it's got to come in like that. It's got to curve back in, follow that line. And then you can add a bit of thickness, so draw another line like that, and it joins there. So now we have the brim of the cap, and you can add a little bit of a line there where the forehead is. Very, very quickly we've got the main shapes. We can divide the face up now into the details. So the ear is the next easiest thing to do, and we come down. The ear comes quite low because he's a bit more older, so the ears are a bit more, they're a bit longer. A little dark shape there, a shape there, and then shape following there. So there's usually just about 3 lines in the ear to make that look good. And then we come down for the sideburn here. Now for the face. So we want to divide this face into 3, but sometimes we can't see where that hairline is. So usually go from the hairline to the chin, divide it into 3. But we've already got where the eyebrows are, so we can go from the eyebrows and draw our 4 dots. So we've got this gap between the eyebrows, and I put 2 dots. So come across just a little bit and put 2 dots. And see how close these 2 dots are to the right hand side of the face. So we want that center line to be really close to this side. And then we divide up the eyebrows halfway down between the chin, and put 2 dots, the same width as the eyebrows. And there, and we've got a really nice structure now to put everything around. Then the first thing I start with is the eyebrows. So go across and down a little bit. I'm just looking at that distance between those 2 points, and you can add a very loose, thick eyebrow. So it comes to a point there, it's a bit thicker on that side, and then this side too. One there, and then we do the bottom of the nose. So the nostrils comes quite high on this person, like there, but then the end of the nose dips down below the dot and comes almost close to the side there, and then back up. And then let's draw the bridge between the eyebrows, so you can just see it up there. It's very close. And then we can connect that down there. So then we have the nose. Now with those two features there, it's much easier to get the eyes and the mouth in. So we can go up from the corner of the nose there towards the brow 2/3. So go 1, 2, and that's about 2/3 up. But because his face is to the side, we have to angle it back to about there. And the distance between the eyes is the same as the nose. So we've got to get that distance between the two dots and put a dot there. And that same distance we come across this way. And that same distance, but slightly narrower because it's foreshortening. There we go on the side of the face. And we draw the eye between these two. So we have 3 lines just for the eye at first. So here's his eye squinting, so it comes up like that, and then down, and then another line in like that. Very, very small, thin gap. And then we go up this side from that dot, and then down this side, and another line there. So the 2 squinted eyes. We'll get back to the eyes a bit later. Now let's draw the lips. So between the chin and the nose, we go up 2/3. 1, 2, and put a dot in the middle where the nose is. And then we can come across for the corner. So come across here, we angle that down about there, and then directly below the nose on this side there, because of foreshortening, comes out a bit more on this side. Now you see there's a curve, it kind of goes up and then down and then up. So let's curve between those dots like that. And then a little line for the lower lip, just to show the shadow there. Now they're the main features of the face, but we have to add a bit more character by adding lines around there. So I might add in just the iris first, and that can be just a little shape in there, just a little shape, and then block in some of where the iris would be. So we're not adding too much detail there. And then some of the lines around, so adding some wrinkles there, and underneath there's an important line under the eye that comes like this on each side. And then we have wrinkles coming out the corner. That really helps with the age. Then coming down this way, we've got that cheek there, and then on this side, and also another line out of the corner of the mouth. And here, I might just show where the collarbone would be. And there we go. We've got the main lines there of the face. Now the glasses. So I start in the middle on the bridge, and that helps us get symmetry. So we can add just between the eyes on this one. That's the bridge of the glasses. And then we come out that same angle as the eyes, and see how far we come out, maybe about there. So I'm just doing that from observation, seeing that distance. It doesn't come out as far as the hat. And then let's draw a rectangle. So I could draw the top section first. Sometimes it helps to break it up like that. And then we can draw the bottom section. How far does it come down? Probably about there. Like that, and then we can add a little bit of thickness. And then the side arm, we've got one lens. Now the other side comes out. It would be the similar, but a little bit longer because of foreshortening. So put a dot there, in line, and then I'll draw the top. That, and then we look at this. Where does it come? About there. Yeah. So dots always help to form structures like this, and add a thickness. Oh, it's okay if it's a little bit wobbly enough. And then the little, I don't know what those little pads are on the side, and then the arms again. And see how high it is here. It's actually come up. Black arm, and then it comes in there. And if you like, you can shade some of that in a bit darker. Okay, that's it. Now we can move on to Lou. So with Lou, we've got a brimmed hat, and we're going to ignore the brim for now and just concentrate on that top shape and get the rest of the main shapes before adding the brim. So once again, we add the 2 dots and see the angle. The way the hat goes, it's not half like the cap, because that cap is against the top of his head. So that would be about there. But she would come a bit higher because there's a bit of air gap. And we leave a gap here, and we come up, and then around, and then back down. We're aiming there. And that's the width of the head. So you have to keep that in mind. And then we're ignoring that brim, and let's just draw the, maybe bring that down a little bit actually, down there. And then let's draw the circle there, that's the top there, around here. That. Okay, and then we draw the forehead. So we're moving on from this shape down to the face. So let's draw that forehead down, about to there. And that is where the eyebrow is. And we can also add a bit of hair, comes out from that middle there, and comes around up to there. We can adjust this later, really. Now the tricky bit, getting that the shape of the face. So we get that width there again, and I'm just looking at that width going down, so that distance is approximately the same. So that distance there, just looking at that shape, is it not too long? Not too wide. They've got a point there now, and we're going to come down, especially with the female. We've got to make that jaw seem like a nice V shape, because she has a lovely jaw that comes to a small point and then comes back up there. So that's what we've got to concentrate. If it's too square, it looks more masculine. Okay, so let's go for it. A little bit of an indent here where the eye is, and then we come out to where the cheek is and then come down, and then where there's where the chin is, it's more of a small round chin. So a little chin there, and then we come around this way and then up this way. Okay, now we have the ear, and there's a shadow here, so I'm outlining the shadows in the ear. That's all I do. And then we have the top bit of the hat and then the face shape. Now we'll leave the rest. We make our way down quickly for this quick style sketching. We get to where the chin is, and we're doing the neck now. It comes in like this, and then just a little bit from the jawline here. I'm going to come in and make sure the neck is a lot narrower than a male's. See that width there? It's a bit thinner on this side, and then come in like that. And that's where the shirt is. Now we have to draw the shoulders so we can see where the hair goes. So come down a little bit there and then draw the shoulders there, and opposite on this side like that. And you can give a few impressionistic strokes here for the shirt like that. That'll just give an idea that there's a shirt there. Now we can draw the hair, and so that comes down from here above the ear like that, like make it a bit more wavy, and then out from the cheek here on the side, and the earrings. So I have a nice loopy earring there, and it comes out, so just follow that on the other side about to there, and then that's the other one there. Now the next step is to do the ellipses around the brim. So what I recommend is maybe you could turn your page, because you can see here, if I have a line straight perpendicular with that head, with the ellipse around where the head is, then that means that the outer brim is going to be along this line. So, and I'm comparing now this brim width here to the face, so to the head. So if I say the head is about that wide, about halfway it's coming out to there. I'll put a little mark there. It's about equal distance. And then this side, if I have that line coming through here, then the same distance out to there. So it should be approximately the same from the middle there. And then we go up. See there's a point here on the hat there. So now I've got 3 points. I might just bring that point up a little bit more in line with that. And then from this middle bit, come down to there, it should be the same here. So then that means that the circle would come this direction. So we have our dots, and this is quite tricky, so just do each segment slowly, and if you make a little mistake, if it's too shallow, just draw a second line, and that's fine to fix those mistakes like that. So coming around here, all the way up to there. So just draw a nice neat arc like that, and I can twist my page a bit more. So I'm going with my elbow and coming down to this arc down here. And then we can continue it around like that. And this arc here would come to there, we could see. There, I was kind of looking at here, seeing that it matched. And then we have a beautiful ellipse that goes around the center of the head. And if you did that ellipse first, before you did the face, I find that the face either looks too small or too big. It's much better to have the face shape, and then you can compare for the brim. Now let's do the face. So from the hairline, which is just where the hat stops there, to the chin, we break it into 3, just like we did the other one. So I come down 1/3, which is where we had that dot before, and I put 2 dots. And make sure they're slightly to the left here. They're not right in the middle of the page. Almost like this dot is halfway across from the hair in this sketch I've done. Then we come down another 1/3, which is halfway between the chin and the eyebrows. And we put another 2 dots. And there we have the foundation of our structure. So let's draw the eyebrows first. I'm just making sure they come out the right distance. So following those shapes, like that, and on this side, don't want to make them too thick, do we? Like that. And then we have the nose. So the nose, we do the width first, the width, and this side too, just a little curve like that. And then the bottom of the nose, it curves down, you can see, and then back up. And now the bridge of the nose, which hers is quite low, about there. Draw those lines like that. And then there'll be a little line here just to describe the type of nose that it is. So it's a flatter nose. So come out from the side there, and a little line here, like that. Now the eyes. We've got the bottom of the nose now, and the eyebrow, we can go up 2/3. 1, 2. Okay, so that should be about 2/3 up, and put a dot at a slight angle, because as the head turns, that point between the nose and the eye slightly changes angle. The distance between the eyes is the same as the nose, so we have to angle that as well. So make sure you've got a nice distance there, same as that, but just set back to the right, and then another line here, another dot there, which is that same distance, and then go this way, another dot this way. So these should be approximately the same distance apart. Now let's draw the simple lines for the eyes. So we have a little line going up, and then a little line going, a longer line going across, and then on the other side too, we have a little line going up, and then a longer line going this way. And then we've got that bottom line, which is just a little curve between the two dots. There we go. And I like to have little gaps between those lines, not to make them all connected. We'll get back to the eyes, and now let's draw the lips. So between the chin and the nose, we go up 2/3 again, 1, 2, and put a dot just below the nose there. And then we come across to the corner of the mouth. It's about there, and just below the nose on this side. It's a bit shorter on this side. Now let's follow the curve of the lips. So we've got a bit of a smile, so let's go, it's like we go this and then down, and then we go up again, like that. The little corners of the mouth, we can add a bit more darkness, and then we add a line just about there. We want that shadow, so the bottom lip, so there's a little curve there, then it curves back up again, like that on this side, and this side. The bottom lip there, and then the top lip, we come up a little bit there and have a V shape there, and then we come down like that. We have some nice voluptuous lips there. Now we'll go back up to the irises. So we can see the size of the irises there, they're quite small. So I'm going to do a little line on the inside there, and a little line on this side there, and we can just see if that looks right. I'm going to match that on this side too. A line on that side, and then on this side. Should be a similar size and angle. So we've got those two lines. If they're very small, just make them little dark sections, and then we can put in the pupil. There we go, we can paint those in. And we want the eyelashes to be quite thick, make it look a bit more feminine. So let's just put an eyelash here and on this side. Now the glasses in the middle. So we put the bridge of the glasses on the nose first. And then you can see I've got a dot here on the side. And then we go across and we that same angle of the eyes, and come across to the other side and put another dot in there. So it should have a similar width between the two. And let's draw that top line connecting. So like that and like that. And then here down the bottom, we'll put show where the corner is, about there and there. And let's draw each side. So we've got this side here, goes down like that and then across and then up there. And the same on this side. And got the same line like that. This comes up a bit higher, maybe there. And then add a second line like that. And then we have the arms going back on each side. So for the watercolor, we're going to add a light wash on the top. I've got a round 10 brush here. And we'll start off with the girl here because she's got lighter skin. So put in a bit of water there, enough to cover the area. And then add in some burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is great for skin tones, but very light, so it doesn't get too orange. And we're starting at the top here, and we'll pull it down. And as we go down, we can add a little bit more saturation to the bottom. And the only thing I'd avoid is maybe just the eyes there. We just put it on there, drag it all down loosely. Now, for the man, we can add a tiny bit more saturation and a bit of rose, I think. Start from the top and make our way down this way. And once again, we'll try to avoid the eyes and keep those white. And then while that's drying, we can add some other colors. So we can see the hat is yellow ochre. So just very subtly, it's probably a white hat, but the surroundings is giving it that little tinge of color. So another very light wash, and it's very bright on the top there. So to show that amount of light, we're going to just leave that white. It's just very subtle, even going over the edge there. And then what about his shirt? Well, I like the idea of changing it to just a very limey green. So I've got viridian green, a little bit of yellow, lemon yellow, And then the same thing, we're not going to touch the skin color, we're trying to keep away from that. So just splashing it on. Now the lady, I think Lou will have a blue shirt. Same thing, I'm just putting it on very loosely. Her hat is very white, so we've got Payne's grey, and the only thing you can really add here, you can experiment something, but I'm just going to add a little bit of few of those stripes. You can go crazy and try to draw them all in, but I'm just really implying that there's a pattern on it, like that. And then we can add a little bit more saturation into that. Her hair, and if you like to make it slightly brown, you can add in some burnt umber there, and that'll warm that colour up just slightly. Now let's do the hair behind this lady. We can frame this face. Don't worry about the earrings, we can do that later. And in the top here, I'm trying not to touch anywhere where the skin is still wet. Now the top bit of there is dry, so I just get a really light bit for the eyebrows. Just make sure I don't have too much water. And then a thin eyebrows. And the eyes as well. Don't want too much water, so I'm dabbing that out. And then in the eyes, the iris, I'll just add a little bit of grey here to show that it is grey hair. It's hard to make it look white, so a little bit of grey in there is nice. And then a bit on the eyebrows as well. Okay, so that's our first layer. Let's let that dry. I've got my hair dry and I'll dry that. I want to add a glaze, a second layer to this skin tone. And I like this skin tone. This one's probably a little bit pale, but we can give a bit of warmth through the middle, the strip, across the cheeks and on the nose. Usually faces are a little bit warmer there, and on the ears. And let's add a nice cheek blush here and on the other cheek. And you can add a little bit around the eyes too. Because it's quite pale down here, I might add another layer there. And then Bud, we've got to add a little bit of blush on his cheeks too. So go from the corner of the eye there, let's just add in a bit around in the eyes. And then the ears always look a bit warmer at the top there. Nice sections down there like that. Now we've got the rosy lips, so add some rose to this side here. And let's paint just in the middle of those lips, add a nice rose. We don't want it to go too close to the edges there. And we can add a second layer to just bring that vibrancy, make it pop. It's just some nice blue spots here. So there's viridian green and that yellow, and on this side too. Okay, we're getting there. Maybe in the hair, some more Payne's grey, and then just where the dark spots, you want to frame that face a little bit more around here, darker around the chin. And then the yellow oak up here, spots in there. Okay, I'm going to let that dry again. Now for the glasses, we'll get out some, I've actually got alizarin crimson. So make that quite saturated, and I've got a thinner brush from around 8. Now this is all dried, I use a hairdryer to dry that quickly. And let's go over glasses. So a nice rich red, just being very careful here. Now that's getting to be dried. Now a really watered down version of that pink, the rose colour. And we'll put a glaze just across the glasses as well. So a little bit watered down, like that. And there's a bit of red. So if I take out lots of water out, and there's a little bit of red coming just down, or pink coming just down off the glasses. On the other side, we've got the Payne's grey. Now you can outline the glasses here. And it doesn't all have to be the same, it's just, especially these outside bits. So we'll let that dry again completely. So with the shadows, we've got a purple lake, so I'm going to use purple because it matches the skin tone really well. But you could use any colour you'd like. Make sure it's very, very thin layer saturation in there. So we'll start off here with the man here. So we've got a shadow under the cap here, and it comes across and up in there, down a bit, under around the eyes. We'll get some shadow there, under the nose, and you can see a shadow under that bottom lip. All the surfaces underneath the light there. Underneath the collar, where else? In the ear, and then underneath this collar here, a tad bit on the hat. Alright, that's what I'm going to leave there. And we'll go over to the lady, and she has this big broad brimmed hat. Now, so I'm going to try not to make it too static by just painting in the whole shape, but I want to get close to the side here, and let's just whip it around there. Might not be exactly filling the whole shape, just to make it look loose. And then we come down, and we're not worrying about the eyes now. We're just going to be not trying to do the glasses so much. we come up here above, and then we come down. It comes down the side of her face there to this side, and then we've got that back hair. And so also the nose. So the nose is in the light. It's just, there's a bit of a shadow under the nose. And so with the shadow down here, we're coming down there, but we don't want to make it too dark because then it would look like a moustache coming down. So we're just going to bring it down on either side there like that. And then a little bit of shadow at the bottom there, comes down there like that. Now, so I didn't do some of there that needs to be done. So just done the main shapes. There's a bit on this side, underneath the shirt here. And then really dry the brush on your paper towel. And now we're just trying to blend that edge there. Blend that one there so it doesn't stand out. A lot of people in my Patreon wanted to see how to do this shadow. Well, that's my best guess at it. I think that still works. We've got light areas there and then a dark area there and the shadow down below. And because Lou has so much shadow there, I think she needs a second layer. So I might add the purple lake back in, but a bit of ultramarine. So we're going to change that to be darker. And so just in areas that need a little bit more interest, we can add another stroke there. Might even put another stroke here just to help that shadow there look a bit more interesting. Perhaps just there too. A little second shadow there to bring that depth in. And the last step is to add some highlights. So I have my Posca pen, PC1M, but you can use any white pen you like. And we can go around and just add a couple of highlights we can see. So like on the nose, you can see here there's a light coming down there, and a bit up on that side. And then around the glasses, there's some highlights, so just to add a few there around the glasses there. There's some highlight on the lip, like that. Might be on the chin as well. So down this middle surface. Then on the earrings there. A few on these edges of anything here, like the clothing, some of his lip here, just all those surfaces on the top that would hit the light, and then especially his glasses, little highlights on there. So there you go, that's my final sketch. I really enjoyed sketching those two, and I hope you got some great tips on how to add hats to your portraits. If you like the full version without any of the cuts, which you can sketch along more easily and have the reference there, that's all on my Patreon. There's also beginner fundamental tutorials for portraits there, which really help when you get onto these tutorial projects. And then when you finish, you can take a photo of your sketch and put it on the community for everyone to have a look. And you can also ask me any questions you like there if you have any problems. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.